Today we're going to go over some of the items that we got during our Waco Road Thrift road trip that we took this last weekend. My wife is starting her online shop. She's got both on Bowhead on Poshmark and at Bowhead and a bunch of other stuff on eBay. We'll try to have those links hopefully below if you want to check out some of these items as well as other things that are in her closet. But we thought we would pull the curtain back. We've watched a few of these videos from people that have had success, and we thought this would be a good way to not only show some of our things but also kind of document our whole trip along these this from beginning to hopefully what will be a successful resale shop. So first things first, we stopped at a number of stores. We wouldn't be able to do them all in one fail swoop. So this particular video is going to be aimed at our Goodwill outlet haul. This was one of those where you have the bins and you pile things in and then they weigh it at the end. And so this particular, it was $1.49 per pound, which when we put up all the items and counted them out, including a couple that were stained, and we just ended up yanking because you're just grabbing things there. So sometimes you roll the dice on a few things. We ended up with 38 items, and so after tax each one of these items is roughly $1.41. So if we can get to the neighborhood of $60, we've made our money back, and of course we want to try to double if not even possibly triple that, and we think that we may have some items here that'll do it, but only time will tell. We'll come back with that. So without further ado, what did we get? Well, first thing we got was this scarf with the skulls. My wife thought would maybe do well, not necessarily right this moment, but skulls are always in, although it is not branded. Figured we'd probably be able to find somebody that would want that for more than a couple of dollars at least. So this here was, we thought, a pretty good item. These are Duluth Trading Company. These are in particular the fire hose, I believe, Flex Force fire hose, or with that, these comp right around $20 or so after we get them cleaned up, so that would be good. This was Ralph Lauren Jeans Company. These, I believe, are slim fit, a little bit of a retro, denim. You can tell the dog really likes it. Probably heard that in the background. The next pair of denim we got were actually some signature Levi's. These are not necessarily particularly lucrative or anything, but for $8 or $9, pretty easy to turn those over. So we figured in really good shape, almost no wear on the cuffs, things along those lines, good places to check. So we figured that would be a good item for this particular haul. Next one are some athletic pants. These have the snaps that go all the way up both sides. They come across. This particular brand has a little bit of a following. The Charles River Apparel, really heavy duty, good shape. So we think I ought to be able to get an easy $10 to $15 for something like that. This was the one item we got that turned out to be new with tags. This is a new approach. These are kind of like some night sleepwear kind of things. They've got the little, you can see the detailing on the bottom, made out of a really lightweight material. So we'll give those a try. Now we get into our, the vest part of our whole haul. If you like puns, this was our whole vest section. The first one being what may be a jacket that was cut or a vest from Levi. Again, that's a signature series, a little bit of a vintage feel to it. Figured it was a pretty good size, could go either way in terms of unisex as far as that. This next one has a label that says denim jeans spelled with a U. We couldn't find anything on it. May do a little bit more work. You can see riveted all around. You got the pockets in there, interesting cut, interesting size. So we thought that might be worth giving it a shot. The last one was kind of a mistake. My wife did not exactly know this was a hunting vest. Now we get into some different apparel. The first one being some flare leg. These are, flare or super wide leg. These are by a brand called Yeah. I don't know if we can get close enough. You can see that, just YA. Weren't really able to find a whole lot on them, but they've got the ties. They're really, done in a good way. I think people that enjoy these particular types of pants will appreciate the options there, and so we'll see if it's so brand oriented. Speaking of brand, Here's our Lane Bryant. Again, we have a few items that go with this. My wife actually has a different approach. She's got well, I don't know if it's different from other people, but Poshmark is where she puts her more hip, cutting edge. That's where our graphic tees will go. Things along those lines. A couple other items that we'll show you as we get into this. Or she'll put things up on eBay, and that's for our, maybe some of the older clientele, a little bit of a different, so that we have a specific theme. So the people that come and check out her closet in Poshmark don't, necessarily get tired of going through stuff that we don't think would be geared towards them. So we've got that separated out. We'll tell you how that kind of works out for us. But this Lane Bryant, this would probably be an eBay skirt. You can see really long, full length, that t-shirt kind of cotton material. So next ended up being probably unlabeled, well, not probably, is unlabeled, but really well made, kind of Spanish feel. So we thought that might be something worth getting, just because it was put together so well. This next piece is a tag that we think is Mike. I don't know. It looks like MIC, or that kind of strange, weird bow tie kind of action, maybe HIC. Unable to find any information on it as is. It's got this really good embroidery. We thought that was really nice. It's got that Cuban kind of shirt look. This was our $1.40 Ralph Lauren, just little V-neck women's, polo pony shirt. We'll get that steamed and cleaned up. That'll be great. A little bit of lace, a little bit of love, a little bit of t-shirt. We thought this was a really good size, good material, really, no flaws or signs of issues. So we thought that would have a little bit of something go along with some of our other graphic choices. This is a crop top, low neck cropped little t-shirt. It's got, some birds on it, things along those lines. We thought, although it didn't have a specific tag, had a size tag, we thought that would be, worth getting on there. This next one was one of my finds. A couple things I'd like to share. This is a duck head, so, nothing too extravagant here. It's probably a $10 or $15 shirt on Poshmark or eBay. What I did want to point out is this type of knit collar. You got a lot of these back in some of the kind of retro 90s, even early aughts shirts, and this is the one area that you'll really see wear out. These will start to curl up. You'll get some wear back here. You can see this collar though is in excellent shape. The whole shirt's in really fantastic shape. So a little big, or it might even be something that I would, but if you like I always like that duck head. That was big back in the day. So retro, vintage, it's always coming back. This is our Maple Clothiers, right? It was Maple Clothing. I think made in India, out of a nice, silk blouse. We thought that was a really pretty color scheme, and also really great, detailing, great colors. It's got that nice kind of 3/4 sleeve. So we thought that had a lot of options, a lot of opportunities. This, although it needs to be steamed really badly, is pretty cool. It's got the embroidery on the front and the back. This is a Josephine Chow, or Chouse, or however I am butchering that particular name. Y'all can inform me down below. Of course, you just type it out, and I really wouldn't know how it was pronounced, even though some of you probably are good at typing out phonetics. But anyway, I think once we get this all knocked out and get all the wrinkles out of it, this one's going to be a really good piece for us as well. Gap, real heavyweight Gap though. It's got all the big buttons. It's got the belt kind of look in the back. You can see that. So we thought this was a really good piece. It really didn't seem like it was worn very much, and definitely worth the $1.50. Oh snap! Of course, we thought this had a variety of, it's clearly sleepwear. It's from Fifth Sun. This happens to be $8, $10. A lot of their graphic tees and graphic kind of suites. This is almost like a fleece kind of a feel to it, so that's really neat. Wife wanted some overalls for the collection, so we got some overalls. These are full size. These are Roundhouse, made in the USA. The area we were thrifting in is relatively close to some rural communities, so might even be some of these straight from the farm, although I don't think this one has ever seen a day of work in its life. You can see when you've got cuffs like that, these probably are not working jeans. So This next one's everybody's favorite to say. This is Lolly Wally Doodle. These are these kimono / fitted dresses. There's a lot of different ways that these are kind of classified. Very popular brand. This happens to be really a good timing because the Christmas trees of a variety of colors, not just your traditional red and green, but got some blues and some purples in there. Might be a good one that we can get up and get sold here pretty quick. 'Tis the season. This next one was probably our big find. If you want to talk about brand, this is actually Hegel, which is an Anthropology brand. And so this tomato print dress in really great shape. It's got the side zippers, here. It's got this lace work there. So got, all the buttons, including the one special kind of rounded button you got here. You got some different looks on each one of these. So, kind of an interesting feel. Thought that would probably be one of our more profitable ones off of here. At least going to be the one that goes towards, definitely this is a Poshmark listing for Anthropology. This we're debating on. We think that it may or may not have originally come with the trial. We kind of figure this would be a really good kind of a cover up throw on. It's just a light cotton kind of throw. It's called upside down. No, this side up. This came with care instructions, but we've got zero idea on a brand, but we thought it was just a really cool vintage piece. It's that canvas kind of feel. It's got these front pockets built in, kind of a nice little dress, goes both sides, cool little cuffs. So we thought this would be the colors were right, and definitely price was right. So this was an accident. We don't do kids' clothes, so this turned out to be something from XXI or 21 for all the Romans in the house. So don't know what exactly we're going to do with that one yet, but it was in here. So, which brings us to our next three pieces. These are what my wife would call wearable art. They definitely have some followings in terms of their brand. This would be stuff that you will find out more on eBay if you're interested. This first one is a Sharon Young, and you can see why it was hard to pass up. This is not necessarily our style in terms of something I would go wear or my wife would wear in terms of all the country scene and so forth. But you can see the embroidery and the amount of work that it took to put this together and this material. A lot of this is, very raised and, as well as, hand, I don't think hand stitched, but a lot of it, pretty elaborate for what it is. And so we think that will, could bring us a nice penny on eBay. This one, again, not necessarily our style, but we thought the colors and the craftsmanship alone really good. This happens to be an Estephanie's. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, that would be one of our eBay listings. And then this Lisa International Woman, this one is one of my favorites just because it's got a kitty on it. You can see the kitty down there. You see the paw prints on the side beating for the toes. You might be able to kind of see that. You got the kitty cat up here on the shoulder. If we get this collar out of the way, and then comes around onto the back as well, and the other one on the back that's down here towards the bottom. The fur collar can actually be buttoned off, so thought this would be a really neat piece for a number of people that enjoy panthers or kitties. It's made out of panther, so it's good. So next bit we got into our vintage coats. First one is this is a Panhandle Slim. See, these go pretty. They have a somewhat of a following. Pretty basic look. It's got it does have the country bow across the back. Got a couple of those. This next one that happens to be Pioneer wear. Again, another vintage jacket with again, it's also got the wear on the back. And so I know this is very hipstery, as well as some updated millennials, and then those that want to live blast from the past. So we're hoping that will be the area that will come in handy from. So, and then our last one we almost passed on, but after a quick look into the brand, which is McGregor. I don't know if you can make that out there. We found out that these also some pretty classic vintage blazers that people enjoyed. This Dr. Pepper Something that, big fans here in Texas, Dr. Pepper bottling, things along those lines. This is athletic. It's the fur interior, kind of varsity style jacket made out of wool. Thought that'd be good. Then we have a little bit of a windbreaker here. Again, not necessarily a superly hot brand, but, really good material. Also is the full zip, which preferred to like the partial zips, and in really good shape. So we thought that would be a good one. Again, back to our classical kind of look. This is actually a pea coat with belt. You can see it's got the belt that goes around with it. It's got the double buttons. It's got a full-on detailing on the back also, with the little hood button and things along those lines. So thought that was in really good shape. No flaws, no holes, no issues. So again, that's a Merona we thought was worth taking a hit on. And then our final one turns out to be from the Put On Shop. This is classic vintage Sears and Roebuck, really heavy fur-lined corduroy. Saw a few of these comped out around $30–40. So we're thinking we might be able to get something in the neighborhood there, especially this time of year. So hopefully, we found some things here that are going to be able to make us our money back and then some. If you have any comments or suggestions or anything that we maybe missed, or any kind of resources you'd like to share, list them down below, and we'll just kind of keep moving forward. Hopefully we can get all into this together. There's plenty of thrift stores out there, plenty of people that want to buy clothes. Hopefully plenty of us resellers can find a way to make it successful. So thanks again, and look forward to seeing you soon.